how are you today? Gabby, are you there? Yay!
Hello, Rogelio.
How are you? And
Uh,
welcome to Tuesdays with Ro.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
How, how's everything today?
It's going great. Typical Tuesday here in the wonderful paradise called Riviera Maya, Cancun.
Very good, nice. So I'm hoping you're having great weather. So that's good.
It is. It is actually. It's sunny, so we hope that we get this kind of weather till the weekend, so we can enjoy the pool.
Very
Yeah.
good. Well, welcome everybody to Tuesdays with Ro. Today we have Gabriela Fernandez, Gabi Fernandez from LinkUp Mexico. So we're gonna have a little business banter here with her, trying to figure out what link up, right? What are we linking up in Mexico? So we'll learn about her business, and the solutions that she's providing to different employers throughout Mexico and the US and other countries. So let's start off first, Gabi. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? What do you, what did you link up? What is it that you're linking up? So tell us about yourself first. What's the who is Gabi Fernandez?
Oh my God, I think that's the hardest question that you can ask anybody in the world, and I think they will even tell you. And well, actually, I am a headhunter. I started here in Mexico, and that is actually one of the questions that you are always asked um, to the candidates. And it's the I think it's the hardest question, and I think there's no right answer no for that. But yeah, but who am I? Well, I am a girl, no, a woman. I'm a woman,
Oh, there you
yeah, from the 21st century.
go.
And well, I born in Veracruz, Mexico. That it's in the Gulf of our wonderful country. Um, well, I'm a very passionate person. I'm a very emotional too. Passion, I think it comes with emotional also, no? So yeah, when I get nervous or when I get excited, I always cry, you know? So and what else? Actually I'm a very perfectionist person. So it's I always said that is a disadvantage for me because I want to have like everything in control, and in this life you cannot do, you know. So
Well, it's
well, yeah,
as I say, you got to control the controllable. So only control what you can. But
yeah,
that's good.
yeah. After I think 40 years, I have learned that I cannot control nothing and anybody. So just living the life. You
Very
know.
good, very good.
Yeah, so
Nice. So
I'm
you're
actually I'm sorry. I'm
go
actually
ahead.
the third or the last of my sister and brother. I don't know how
Okay.
to say it, of my
Siblings. Mhm.
siblings, right? I know that word, but I I just forget it. I'm very nervous. And well, I'm the last one, and in a very tight family. We are very tight. Even though I'm living in Cancun and they're living in Veracruz. I mean, we are always like
Mhm.
in touch, and family is very important to me. You know, well, I'm married, and yeah, something that is the most important thing in my life is my husband and my family. So that's pretty much who I am. As in a professional side, well, I did study two careers, that is, or two bachelors that you call it in the US, that it's
Mhm.
system computers and psychology. And then I also have a master degrees in psychology, in organizational psychology. I started my life working in an oil company, oil and gas company, in one of the top oil and gas company in the world. And I learned there what I wanted to do, that it was human resources for the rest of my life. I really became like very passionate about it, like trying, like to help, and most important in human resources is to serve, and I really like that. Yeah, like to serve and to help other people to achieve what they are looking for in life, in any kind of way that I can
Mhm.
help. I try to do it. So that's pretty much who I am, what I do, and here I am.
Very good, very good. Well, welcome aboard.
Yeah.
So headhunting or recruiting, and
Yeah,
then you went into your background in psychology and
yeah.
IT.
I
So
It
psychology,
has
I
helped
can
me a lot.
see
Yeah.
psychology, I can see the human resources side. So talk to me how that journey started into the world of recruiting. What inspired you to specialize in because it looks like, I looked at your background and your
Hmm.
resume, and I see that you're focused on recruiting high level
Yeah.
individuals, more on the prepared individuals that you focus on. What helped you or what inspired you to get into that field?
Well, I think that is something that I do. I mean, that I do easily. That it comes to me easily, and doing like interviews um, for the positions that I had, like wherever I was working. It was like very, very, very easy to me to understand the other person, to see where they coming from and what do they want. So yeah, I mean, with LinkUp Mexico, I always said that we are a human resources consulting. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I mean, I know everything there is to know about, well, not everything there is to know, that is very pretentious, but well, I pretty much have a good idea when it comes to human resources. But yeah, we start doing headhunting here in the Riviera Maya because I kind of like uh, take a look of what was going on in the area, and I see that here, I don't know. Actually, some other people have told me that it's the same everywhere. That
Mm-hmm.
suddenly you have a lack of talent, or suddenly you have that you lose somebody because, I don't know, the competition offer that person something else that you said, like, it's
Mm-hmm.
incredible that maybe after, I don't know, 1 year or 2 years, that this person just leave because somebody else makes eyes on them. So yeah, so I started like saying, like trying to do something in this, and trying to understand why people was leaving jobs, you know and well, I have pretty much a good idea about it, and then I try to make the companies to understand why, and that's something that I really like. First of all, before all of this, actually, analyzing people is my passion, I think. Like trying to understand like why they behave the way they do, and then try to understand, and if I can, try to help them, like maybe this is not a good way of doing
Mm-hmm.
things, then you can go to this way, and do this that is better, so yeah,
Yeah.
something, I think it's more about a passion thing to me than anything else.
Mhm. Well, you touch up on some good points. I mean, there's been a shortage of talent. There's
Mm-hmm.
been and I believe that after the pandemic, we're hoping that it's over, but every time there's a new thing coming on. But after the pandemic, the COVID pandemic,
Yeah.
there's been people that have decided to go out on their own, uh, that they decided to open up their own business. Then you got people that have also left for better paying jobs, or maybe uh, better situation,
Her
less
situations.
stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's right.
less stress, different alternatives to what they were doing. And you touched upon a good point as well, as far as understanding the psychology of the why do people leave, having that exit strategy. Tell us what made you decide to leave. Tell us about why you went to another job. What did they offer? And what you'll find out more about the values of that person. Did they
Mm-hmm.
value monetary? Did they
Mm-hmm.
value uh, life work balance? Did they
Mm-hmm.
value the beach? Did they want to move to Cancun and work remotely? What is it that they value? So you'll
Mm-hmm.
get to see that. Now, I'm assuming that with your experience, you work with prestigious clients and you work or with prestigious companies, as you mentioned, one of the biggest oil companies, and you work with companies like that. What is your experience? What have you picked up from that experience by working with large companies like that? How has that helped you in your current role as a recruiter?
I think thankfully we had experience. Uh, I don't know how to say it, like treating. Is that the treating with other people, but from
Yeah.
other nationalities? Like I actually consider myself a citizen of the world because I can relate to anybody. It doesn't matter from what part of the world
Background.
they are, the background, or even their religion. And that's something that this company allows you to, like to meet people from different parts of the world, and actually giving you the opportunity also to travel to these parts of the world.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and living also. So yeah, that's something that probably gave me the opportunity to understand it, like I said, like different backgrounds, different ways of thinking, not judging people just because, I don't know, you don't know their situation, and that is
Hmm.
something I think that is something really important in recruiting, that you have to be a lot be I don't know, big time empathic.
Hmm.
You have to be able to understand, like you said, like why did they leave that job, you know
Yeah.
so yeah, probably that's the most important part that they left me. uh, that oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the word, but that way of thinking, that's the
Mhm.
biggest
Yeah.
thing that they left me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that with you recruiting people to different organizations, especially since you're working with companies that may not be local to Mexico, they may be from the US, and you're looking to work with companies outside, that you understand the diversity that they're requiring, and really what they'll be able to match up to
Hmm.
make sure that it's a good fit. That's
Yeah.
great
Hmm.
experience. I mean, I would say I've worked with big corporations, and yeah, that's typically one of the things that you get out of it is getting to work with everyone and understand each other.
Yeah.
So now, moving into your recruitment strategies and insights, because you focus, like I said, when you focus on high level executives or high level educated people, prepare
Yeah.
people. What do you think are the key attributes that you look for in top talent? And how do you identify these qualities during the recruitment process?
Well, actually, these days, and I was talking this to a client, that I think the most important thing right now is people that can give you solutions. That people that is not like, I don't know, you handle something for them, and you want to things to happen. But suddenly, if you, I don't know, uh, if you get with a person that is like, how do I do this, or where do I get this, or it's like, no, I mean, I cannot be there, like I don't know, like I don't know, manager always said, like, I cannot be there so things happen. I need to concentrate in other things, in other part of the business. So yeah, I think that's the main, how do you say, like the main ability that
Mm-hmm.
the I always find important in every job description. Like when we are sometimes, of course, I mean, clients give me their job description and I look at it and I always find that ability. But every time that I also, when I do have the possibility with LinkUp Mexico, when somebody wants a service from me, uh, to help them to do this description, and we
Mm-hmm.
always came into the same um, into the same idea that we need to have people with ability of doing things, like getting
Mm-hmm.
things. And that's I think that's the most one of the most important thing, and that one of the primary things that I always ask these candidates, how, I mean, how do they give solution to things, like for example, one time I remember, well, I remember that with a client, they needed lawyers, for example,
Mm-hmm.
and they always make them do a test, um, uh, for lawyer things,
Okay.
yeah. So
Compatibility.
right. So they leave the person in a room actually full of books, of how do you call it, lawyers,
Log, uh-huh. Cases,
lawyers.
log.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and they leave it. They leave the person there. They leave it with the test, and they wait to see what happens. And they always said, like, I don't care if you have or not, or you don't have the knowledge, but I need you to be able to look in one of those books the answers. So if at the end you give me your test and it's on blank, or there are some questions that are not answered, then yeah, that's not the right fit for the position. So that's something that I also look in a person, the research part, like, are
Mm-hmm.
you able, I mean, everything is online, these days. So
Yeah.
if you don't have an answer, well, you can always look for that answer, so that's also another thing that I look for in candidates. So I think that's pretty much the two top abilities that you need to look for in a candidate.
Mhm. No, that's a great example. Being and you mentioned that the key attribute is a solutions, being able to be a
Mm-hmm.
I guess motivated, self-starter,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
independent, and solutions minded.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to, I guess, think outside the box, right? Don't just follow the directions you're giving because you're being asked for a result. How do you
Mm-hmm.
go about it within the bounds that you are
Yeah.
limited to? I mean,
Yeah.
they couldn't leave and go to the library, but they had a
Yeah.
library right there, so
Yeah.
they look at that. And it's
And I
very
think that's
good.
that's yeah, those are those good abilities that actually you cannot teach. It's something that you have to have. So as long as you find this, I mean, it doesn't matter if they don't have the experience or the knowledge. I mean, if they have these two, like you, but also the self-motivated ability, they can do wonderful things in the job position.
No, very good. Now, in
Hmm.
your opinion, companies make mistakes in attracting, when they're trying to attract high level talent.
Hmm.
Um, what do you think are the most common mistakes that they make when they're trying to attract talent, and how can they avoid them?
Well, I think that they are not thinking. I mean, when we do this recruitment process, I always try to get into the minds of people. Like, what are they looking for? Like when you uh, well, in marketing, for example, that you try to find like the buyer persona, no?
Mm-hmm.
And in the recruitment, I think that we need to start to seek for the employer persona. Like, uh, what what is doing right now the person that you want for the job, like what I don't know what kind of for example, what kind of family does he has, or well, not what kind of family, but I mean, if you want that to be married, if you want to be single, if you want to be, like, and then after like getting all these specific aspect of the persona, also like, okay, so what is this person, or what does this person wants from life? What is their dreams, their pursuits, everything, all of this, and then uh, 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 mm, oh yeah, I forgot the word. I'm sorry, but uh, from this, from these aspects, okay, where are you going to find this persona? You know,
Mhm.
and how are you going to attract this persona? Because, like, for example, I think that we only do well, the job description, or the job profile, and then you put it online and that's it. But you don't know what this person can be attracted to, like, okay, so you want, I don't know, Johnny, that is married, that has two children, and then probably, well, here in Mexico, we work sometimes, it's like 6 days a week. Um, so probably Johnny wants to spend the weekend with his kids, so
Mhm.
if you have, like, for example, a job that is from Monday to Friday, then like, try to make that the most important thing on your job description, so things like this is what companies, they need to start doing, like, look for what the person is looking for.
Yeah, making sure that
Mm-hmm,
what they're able to offer is something that
mm-hmm,
attracts the
mm-hmm,
candidates.
mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
and we'll talk about the differences between hiring in Mexico and hiring in the US, because you allude to some things, we're in
Yeah,
Mexico, in Mexico, and I'll just tell this to my audience, because we have audiences on both sides of the countries, both US and Mexico. In
right,
Mexico, you're still allowed to be able to specify and ask for age
right,
and marital status distinctions,
right.
where in the US, there's limitations. You can't ask if anybody's in childbearing age and all that stuff. So we'll leave that for another day that we can talk about it. But
Well, actually, it's not permitted, also here in Mexico, but there are ways to find out those things. Like, I was actually talking to another person about this, that in the US you cannot ask, I don't know, if they're married, or if they have kids, or even the picture on the resume. And in Mexico, it's not it's not okay, but we still do it. Because I think that people are not very used to still and we don't have like a kind of like a dependency. Well, we do, but it's not like very present.
mm,
So we don't know like where to go and complain. That's the difference between Mexico and the
in the
US. That
US.
as a candidate, we don't know where to go to complain about all this. But there, I mean, it's not very good. It's not allowed. But there are ways in the interview to find out those things. I mean, and they don't even know it. you know?
Well, and I think, understanding and preparing the candidates who have better interviews and really focus
Mm-hmm,
on the qualities
mm-hmm,
always works. So very good. Now tell
mm-hmm.
me, I was looking at the company, LinkUp. You have different areas of specialty. Adriana is involved with marketing, graphic design, architecture. You yourself, you're more in the IT engineering, and I'm assuming that's because you were in the IT field or in the systems operations administration. And then you have another member, Annie, who's involved in the accounting and finance. But let's
Yeah.
focus on technology. Let's focus on technology. Let's focus on industry trends and challenges.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen the recruitment landscape evolve, change, especially in the wake of recent global events? What have you seen on that side?
I think that there are some things that that the technology can help us, of course. I mean, there are parts of the recruiting process that, for example, the AI is that,
Hmm.
yeah, the AI can help us, but we still need to like I always said, we still deal with humans, so we cannot let everything on the technology part. You know, like people still want to feel like they're getting in touch with this human part. Like for example, it I have done both. You know, like when I get, I don't know, an application through WhatsApp, for example, and I have done
Hmm.
like the part of the bot, you know,
Hmm.
the and and we get like less interaction with the person because they do realize, I mean, I don't know how to say it, but they do know that they're talking to a robot. And when I do it myself, it's like it's a better interaction with the person. So I mean, of course, it's wonderful. I myself, I love to think that I bring to Link Up Mexico with technology, innovation, and all those things. And it's really important to me because I'm also from the technology field. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Uh, but at the end, we still need to understand that we deal with persons and that they need to know that they are being listened, you know? So yeah, there are some parts that for sure the AI can help us, but we still need to clarify that we still need that part of doing like the interviews,
Hmm.
uh, you know, like face to face and getting a little warm, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know, warm
No, yeah,
because it's hard. It sounds like gusano. I don't know.
I know. Well, we had, yeah, little tingly factor, having that little uh insecurity.
Yeah.
But you bring up a good point as well with your, and this is in the interview process, that you have people interview with bots, and then you also have interviews that they still look, but it's a different effect when you talk to them, that they get to see you one on one, even if it's through Zoom or Teams or Meet or
Mm-hmm.
whatever venue it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. What about with the growth, with the rise of remote work? You know,
Oh,
how have
okay,
you,
okay.
how, how
Uh-huh.
has your recruitment strategies adapted to attract and retain top talent in the new environment?
First of all, I always said that remote work is still is not for everybody. There are some people that they still want to go to the office and that they want to get interaction with other humans, and there are
Hmm.
others. Well, actually, in the IT field, I think that is more easy because IT technology, all these kind of fields are the main characteristic of the personality of these candidates, individuals. um, they are very not outgoing. I don't know how they say in English.
Outgoing, yeah, they're to themselves.
No,
They're
but
introverts. They're
introverts.
not,
Yeah,
yeah, they're
they're
not
very
as.
introverts, and for them, actually, in the technology part is the best way of like they only go to the machine and then and they work and they're very happy and they are very happy not to interact to anybody else. So I think in terms of technology, it's going good, and I think that it's something that candidates look for to be working in home office. And oh, yeah, I don't remember the other question. I'm sorry.
It's like what, to retain employees and recruiting them in the, how do you do that in this with remote work? Because you mentioned that which you mentioned, now people still need that
Hmm.
touchy feely, where they get to know people and get to communicate. So how do you retain talent, and how do you attract it also?
Well, like I'm telling you, it depends on the kind of the personality that to attract. You need to be very, very sure that this person is made for home office, for remote work, because if they are not, if they need the interaction with the people, they are not going to last 15 days. And you need to through the of course through the interviews, you need to uh, put that very clear, and you need to well, as an interviewer, you need to seek, like for that answer that that this person, it will be good for remote work or not, and then for retaining, I think that you need to do it through, first of all, through objectives,
Mhm.
so they feel like they don't feel like very stressed because they are probably not delivering the work. If you don't give them goals, objectives, so they know that's in certain amount of time they can deliver, then that will be like a very, how can we call it, like a very bad part from the
Mhm.
company, and for sure the person
Will
will
leave.
leave, I'm sorry, the the position, because they will get so stressed. And like you were saying, people are looking for jobs that that they don't get the stress, you know
Mhm.
so that's one. And then the other thing is also, well, I think that through the objectives, they can be more, sorry, I forgot the word, but they can be more, their performance can be better,
Mhm.
and they will feel more accomplished, and actually there are also, and then after that, there are also, I think, benefits that you can implement, that it can be like very, uh, very very appealing to them, you know
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, like, I don't know, like, for example, giving I don't know, the day off for their birthday, for example. It's just like little things that they say, like, oh, this is good. Or maybe I always tell my clients, like, why don't you give, I don't know, if somebody that did a good job that week, why don't you give some passes for the movies,
Mhm.
to for them to take their family. I mean, they will be like very good, because at the end, why do you work? I mean, you work for, or if you work for the weekend,
Yeah.
you know
And
you work for,
exactly. You work,
uh-huh,
you work your 5 days, you can be off on the weekend. Yeah, I would imagine
uh-huh.
that the items that you're talking about is, what does your onboarding process look like? What does the training look like? How does
Oh, right, right.
the
Actually,
progressiveness of you staying on the job? So
yeah.
and that's always great.
Yeah, actually, that is very important, and yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous, but yeah, the onboarding process is really, really important, because it allows you to make the the new employee to understand, uh, what are they there for, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, relax.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and also, they understand, like, what are you looking for in them, for the
Mhm.
position also, and then you can make them relate the company to their eyes, you know,
Mhm.
and then they can understand why are they there, why they need to do this, what the company wants from them. So yeah, it's the onboarding. It's really really important. It's a crucial part for the new talent not to leave the position, you know,
Mhm.
and you also then also make them feel like they're important, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
agree with everything. I agree
yeah, and
with you on that side.
yeah, and actually, I'm sorry. Actually, that is something else that when you do have like a process well established, when it comes to hiring somebody,
Mhm.
I don't know, the people understand that they are like in a good company, in a good business, even though I mean your business is small. Um, if you have like a well-established process of hiring, they will feel like they're in a good job, in a I forgot the word, I'm sorry, but like in a control business, you know,
Mhm.
and they will get like this kind of um calm that they are in that they will have like a good job, you know.
Yeah, well, they'll have a good, what I call
Mhm,
man job overlay. They'll
mhm,
be in place. They'll know what,
mhm,
they know what is expected. They know they have the process. They know
mhm.
they know exactly
Yeah.
what to expect, both
Mhm,
that what the
mhm.
company expects from them and what they can
Yeah.
expect from the company to be
Mhm.
able to be
Yeah.
fulfilled. Very good.
Yeah. And it's
Now,
important to them.
yeah. Now
Mhm.
let me ask you this, as far as like with companies that you work with, um, do you be and when I go back that you have different areas of expertise, both you with Adrian and Annie. Any particular companies that you're looking for that you say, okay, these are my sweet spot. These are the companies that we really feel comfortable in delivering top talent to. Any of those that you have that you
Well,
are looking for.
I love yeah, I love tech companies. They are like the best. Yeah. I really love them because even though I mean they're like tech companies and you will think that maybe they can be like very cold because that's what they do. Actually, no, they have very good programs, like you say, like they have very good onboarding. They have also training programs. They have also that's really important. Training, it's something else that I that I didn't say before. Training is really important for a company to retain talent, and they also have like this kind of like formation program. I don't know if that's the right
Yeah,
word.
that's fine. Mhm.
That
Yeah,
they know that they can keep growing in the business, because that's something that also people is looking for. You know, like okay, so in 2-3 years, where I'm going to be? Like I want to keep growing. I want to keep feeling like my job, my life is it's
yeah.
of something. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
career advancement and formation.
Career. Yeah.
So that goes very good.
Yeah, it
So,
seems like I don't know these words, right?
well, you're
It's been
nervous. You gotta work on that one.
yeah,
Gotta work on the camera side of it. So
right.
let's say, what advice would you give? And these are for, I'm assuming that when you engage with the company, you're engaging with the HR department and also the managers of certain departments that are looking to hire these people. What advice would you give this department heads and the HR managers uh, in recruiting the right talent
I'm sorry,
to
to human resources
the
department?
yeah, to the managers of human resources and to the managers of the departments that are hiring, what advice would you give them in searching for the right talent?
Um, like that I always said that let's never forget that the basis, like I said before, like we are dealing with the people, and that at the end we still need to do the whole process and trying to do it the in the best human way,
Mhm,
like make them, even though, I mean, if they don't get the job, try to be, I don't know, assertive, compassionate,
mhm. Humberto.
uh-huh, um, to the people that are not getting the job, and then when they do get the job, um, never forget to to treat them like you would like to be treated. That's never forget that we are a service department also. That's very important, and then like I said, going back to basis. I mean, I know that it's difficult because you get like a lot of work,
Mhm,
and you get a lot of and there's a lot of people, but you need to make. I always try to make each one of my candidates feel special. Like
mhm,
I'm the one I'm talking to you. I'm not probably talking to anybody else. In that moment, I'm talking to you, and you're important to me, and the things that you're saying are important to me. So yeah, probably I don't know what other advice to give to a person that is also in my area, because I'm a very I always try to think that there are other people uh, doing the same thing as me, that they know that they have the same knowledge as me. So I don't know. I'm actually in this part, I'm very how do you say, like maybe very shy.
mhm.
So I'm not very certain like what advice can give to them,
Okay.
you know?
All right, very
Yeah.
good. Well, with that, I mean, and I'll just add one more thing, and we'll close out. But I'll add to those, department managers that are looking for talent, setting the expectations right and letting them know, as Gabi mentioned, being compassionate and also being assertive, letting them know the ones that did not get the job, why they did not get it, what they could have improved for the future. Because sometimes the talent, they may come back to you, they may apply for another job, they might be the right fit for other things. So with that, I want to thank Gabi for being on today's Tuesdays with Ro. We appreciate it, and thank you everybody. With that, we will see you next Tuesday. Have other guests coming on board next.